Well, I've been around the game a long time, and the common denominator with every good team that I've worked with is good goaltending. And the Cranbrook Bucks have that in spades this year in the form of Nathan Airey returning after a stellar season last year, and he's going to be backed up by Carter Captain. Now, I talked to the big man in the crease, Nathan Airey. Let's hear from him.
Here with Nathan Airey, one of the fan favorites for the Cranbrook Bucks last year, really made a name for himself and in the BCHL and in the city for sure. And he's back for another season. Nathan, thanks for taking the time today.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, excited to have you. I know it's been a little bit of a long off season, but we're back at the rink, getting things together now and ready for another season. How are you feeling heading into this one with a full season of BCHL experience now under your belt?
I feel really good, really confident. I'm excited to get going throughout this year. Our team's going to be really good. I'm super excited for this upcoming season and just taking my experience to another level and really applying all the things that I learned last year into next season for sure. It's gonna be a good one.
And I heard a lot of different descriptions for you last year. Human highlight reel came up quite a bit, the post-to-post master. I guess just knowing that you've gotten on the radar of so many teams, definitely have some expectations under you this season. How does that weigh into your psyche?
Yeah, I mean, I like to use that almost, right? And kind of apply that, I guess some people call it pressure, but I would say just kind of use that, right? And motivate myself. No, I really enjoy, playing in those pressure moments, right? That's probably why I'm a goalie for sure. But no, I'm excited for the upcoming year and excited to see how far I can push myself for sure.
Yeah, the goalies always seem to thrive on pressure, especially the ones that excel. It seems like the more pressure is almost more welcome.
Yeah, we love the, being the make or break of the game sometime for sure, right? It's just kind of, not everybody enjoys it, but it's kind of something that we enjoy, I guess. So.
Now, you had a pretty active off season, obviously the Flames development camp. We'll get to that, but you were one of the first back this summer, obviously, working out on the ice with Nathan Lewin, another flying goalie himself who spent some junior years here and went on to have a terrific career in the pros. I guess just tell me the relationship between you two and how that's helped kind of ease you into Cranbrook and, make the city your own.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's an awesome guy. Whether it's, on the ice, off the ice, you can always talk to him, right? Whether you have, problems going on, like he's such a great guy, awesome coach, really developed my game. I'd say mentally for sure. And I think that mental improvements engaged into my game on the ice for sure. And he was definitely the catalyst of that. And no, awesome guy. You can kind of tell when you're on the ice, he's always itching to get back in the gear for sure. So I think it's always good for him to be on the ice. He's super competitive and he's always intense when he's playing, and he knows when to be intense, when to be, to have fun, right? So yeah, awesome guy. Best goalie coach I've ever had for sure.
Your family is really big supporters of you. I see them on social media. I got to meet them last season. Terrific hockey family too. Just a little bit about mom and dad and how big of an influence they've been on you and how they've helped you, obviously being away from home, not so easy at a young age, but they're not too far away at all times, it seems like.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they come to, as many games as they can, right? Which is awesome. I'm very, very lucky to have them, whether, my mom's shooting on me in the driveway when I was a kid or playing mini sticks with me and destroying me in a game, right? She was always competitive and, my dad lacing up my pads when I was a kid, not knowing how to some days, right? Where the pads run backwards and whatnot. But you never really notice how much they sacrifice for you until you kind of take a step back and you look at, the countless days that they've driven you to practice, right? They get off work, they drive you to practice, right? We're making lunch, making dinner, stuff like that. It's really, it's awesome how much they've supported me. And again, that's kind of something I just noticed this past year really, really took a second. And you know what? I'm very, very lucky to have them letting me move away at home in grade 10, right?
Right.
Went out to Saskatchewan, and yeah, they come to as many games as they can. And yeah, it's so awesome, even for my sister as well, to have supportive parents like that in her sport as well. So
Just the fact that you're still so young and noticing all the little things that kind of goes into raising a hockey player, it speaks volumes. Just you know, how in tune you are with, you know, the sacrifices that the parents make, and it's good to see that. I know it's not something that I really clued into until maybe my 20s, when it was too late to really say thank you. But
you know what it was is I was working this summer all day, Monday to Saturday, and you know, I get home, I go work, get over there at 7 or 8, and get home at 5, and I'm, you know, exhausted. And you know, I kind of thought, like, man, my mom would have to drive me to practice right now. And you know, that's kind of crazy to think about. You know what? They sacrificed a lot of time for me, so it's really awesome.
so born in Cochrane, Alberta, and then now you get the call from the nearby NHL team, the Calgary Flames, to go in for the summer development camp. Just first of all, how did that feel? Just getting on their radar and getting that call.
Oh, it was awesome. It was kind of one of those moments where you have that feeling like you can make it, right? I was so excited. I was up in a horse show in Red Deer when I got the text, and you know, there's a slight chance I could go, and it kind of soon just started escalating into the opportunity that I could go, and it was such an awesome feeling to really have all your hard work kind of come into like a capsule, and you could see it kind of pay off in that moment, right? And it was a kind of a dream come true moment, even though it was just a camp, but it was awesome. I loved it.
Now, taking that experience back into Cranbrook now for your second year, you've been here for a little bit now as we're kind of getting into the start of regular season action. Just now that you're back here, have some experience, had that pro experience a little bit. How does it feel now being back here this year as opposed to last year, where maybe there was a little bit more of the unknown in the air?
Yeah, for sure. After the bubble year, it's kind of hard to expect what you're going into, right?
No doubt.
Right. So, you know, going into my 18-year-old year, middle year, you know, I was just looking to have a solid season and get a bunch of games in, right? And I feel like I got that under my belt, and I had I have the experience now, and from that camp, you know, now the expectations are, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself for sure, but you know what, I'd want to perform my best and do what I did at that camp, and you know, really prove to people that, you know, I can get to that level for sure.
How's the golf game going?
You know, I've been working a lot, so I haven't
for years.
Right, I haven't gotten out golfing too much. I'm gonna be honest with you. I went for I didn't have a grad or anything, so went out for a golf trip with my dad, and I think we actually didn't go the last round because our golf game was so bad, because we hadn't golfed at all. But I went when we were here in Cranbrook, and actually had a decent round. But you know what, it's I still enjoy the food a lot. You know, you hit the turn and you dying for that food. So
yeah. It's a good way to get outside too. I know I was hoping to bring up some pictures, had some technical difficulties, but I definitely had one of you teeing off at what looked to be a pretty nice course in the Rockies.
Okay, yep. I try to remember that picture. Yeah, that was a while ago, but yeah.
Well, moving into this, one thing I like to do is a game called word association. So I'll give you like a name, a place, maybe a person, maybe an organization, and then kind of come back to me, you know, right off the top of your head, 1 or 2 words that describes whatever I'm telling you, or maybe a small sentence. You following me a little bit there?
Yeah, I think I got you here.
All right. So first one, here we go. Calgary Flames.
Right off the bat, excitement. There's some experience, and a goal, I would say, a goal of mine.
Nathan Lewin.
Mentor, for sure. No question about that.
Brian Donald.
Uh, I'd say hard-nosed when he needs to be, but also fun at the same time off the ice, and can be one of the guys.
Penticton, British Columbia.
Bubble, first of all, comes into mind, and an electric place to play for sure.
Reese Bentham.
Leadership is the first word that comes to mind, and humility for sure.
Trail Smoke Eaters.
Rival, no question. Rival and entertainment.
How has that rivalry been coming along? Like, you guys saw each other, I think, 10 times in the regular season, and then I think 4 times the preseason, and then 10 times in the bubble. Like, were you guys, kind of friends by the end of that?
Really, I don't know if I'd say friend. I mean, I'm kind of one of those guys that's friends with everybody off the ice and sometimes on the ice in between whistles. But truthfully, I remember playing the first game my first year in Trail, and we had never played him first game, and we were already felt like rivals. And it's just one of those things that that was put on us, and it kind of naturally morphed into a rivalry just like that. So, but we always love playing him. It's a good time.
Yeah, and I think that's only going to simmer a little bit more as the years go along. It's going to be really fun to watch that progress. Moving along, Cochrane, Alberta.
Home for sure, and kind of a safe place, I'd say.
Tyson Dick.
Roommate, my best friend, smartest hockey player I've ever seen.
Now, he was obviously drafted, spent some time with the Ottawa Senators development camp too, the team that drafted him. Did you guys kind of get to talk and share your experiences a little bit?
Yeah. Funny enough, when I went to camp in Calgary, I stayed at home, where he was in a hotel. So he was a bit in a different place than I was. And I heard I think he scored a bunch of goals in their game. I think he had a hat trick or something like that. But
checks out.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But no, I know he had a really good camp, and I talk to that guy all the time about whether it's life or whether it's on the ice and what his plans are. So just an awesome guy. I can definitely relate to. We're very much alike in many ways as well. So
continuing on, Prince George Spruce Kings.
Unfinished business.
That's a good answer. I'm sure the fans feel that too. What an electric game, though, Game 6. Not the result you guys wanted, but to think that that's something that we can build on going into this season and beyond. It's really exciting to think about. For sure. That was definitely the most, even though it didn't end the way we wanted, but it was probably the most fun game I've played in a long, long time, for sure. Amazing fans. Cranbrook, BC.
First of all, junior, for sure, junior hockey. I have a word kind of at the tip of my tongue here. A home away from home almost. It's very similar to Cochrane, actually. So. Last one, Cranbrook Bucks. Actually, one of it goes inaugural for sure, and just almost family. I would say, whether it's the community, whether it's, players, coaching, we're kind of a family or a community in our own way, which is, I think, very important to have. Now, the fans have taken you to you so much. As I said at the top of this interview, you've really become a fan favorite in this town. Just, I guess, your feelings about, as you said, your home away from home and just, life in Cranbrook. How are you liking the Kootenays, and is this something you could see yourself continuing with? Sure. I mean, it's it's one of those towns that, I would call it a town just because that's kind of what it feels like, right? Fair enough. I'm one of those small town guys for sure. Yeah. But that's one of those places I could see myself living in whether that happens or not, right? And whatever hockey takes me to, for sure. But no, I absolutely love it. It's a small town feel, community feel. It's kind of the place I pictured myself in whether that's the future or whether that's playing junior hockey, right? So it's it's not one of those big city feels where you just kind of on the outside. You feel like you're really a part of the community for sure.
Now, Evan Gartner and you were a terrific tandem last season. Obviously, Evan has now aged out of junior hockey. You'll have kind of a new relationship to forge, on the bench, on the crease, and practice and all that. I guess what do you look for, I guess, in a kind of tandem partner for a, backup goalie?
Yeah, I think, having a backup, it's a very, it can be fragile, but I think there's always ways to really reinforce it, whether that's, talking outside of the game, talking about, life aspects. I think that's super important for us, and we're competing on the ice for sure, right? That's how it works, whether you're labeled as the starter or not. Guy goes on a hot streak, they're going to play, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's really, really important to have a good friendship and to get to know each other off the ice. I think that's a key thing for me that I like to look in the other guy. And yeah, I think, being supportive on and off the ice also, right? See a guy make a save, right? Tap your stick, give him that's an unreal save, right? Stuff like that is super, super important. And it also, moves into the team as well. They see that gives them confidence as well.
Now, Nathan, the goal is always a championship, a good playoff run. But I guess for you personally off the ice, as you grow as a person and as a hockey player, your kind of goals for this season?
Yeah. Obviously, having a good year is obviously, one of those goals of being recognized in the league for sure. But, off the ice, just improving myself as a person, right, is super important, because the on ice stuff will come with hard work and dedication, and that on ice stuff is obviously super important. But I think that off ice, being a good person and I guess that's a very broad statement, but, working on, say, humility or stuff like that, I think is really important and gives you peace of mind on the ice to really enhance your performance per se. I don't know if you know what I mean there, but yeah, that's one of my goals is to work on myself, and that'll transition onto the ice, performing well, mentally being clear, and that'll transition into, I guess, the performance aspect on the ice, and that's super important. I think it's all intertwined for sure. And then probably a goal on the ice that I need to work on is I guess my speed, I'd say. Whether that's recovery speed for sure is something I've worked on hard over the summer, and something I'm looking to transition into my game and make it a bit more known. So
wise beyond your years, Nathan, and a great future ahead of you. The Cranbrook Bucks, lucky to have you back for another season. A showstopper on the ice and air of calmness off of it. And thank you again for joining us here on the Cranbrook Bucks Insider.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Good time.
Here's Nathan Airey, your starting goaltender for the Cranbrook Bucks.
I'm here with Jack Henry, new defenseman for the Cranbrook Bucks. Welcome to the Herd and welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Completely scheduled, too, was it not? Didn't just drop into the studio accidentally?
Of course.
He was picking up a broken stick after practice, and it's funny how these things work out. But good to have you here. I know I owe you an interview because we didn't get your player profile done in time. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and your first few days in the Herd.
Yeah, so it's been great so far. I'm from a small town in New York called Skinny Atlas, so I'm quite a way away from home now. But I've settled in nicely, gotten to know the guys pretty well, and I've really been enjoying it so far.
How's the hockey out there? We talked a little bit yesterday. Everybody's kind of gelling pretty good. Everybody looks pretty good out there too, well-conditioned, and it looks like Ryan's got you guys skating nicely. Yeah,
practice I've been going well. It's definitely a faster pace than what I've been playing in the past, but I've been loving it so far. It's good hockey.
So tell us a little bit about what we'll see from you on the ice, what fans can expect to see. I guess kind of your MO. Do you emulate your style of game after anybody from the show?
One player I love watching is obviously Cal McCarr, kind of a bandwagon there, but another player I'm a big fan of is Adam Fox. I love the way he slows down the game, isn't always going a million miles an hour, but it's kind of the way I like to do it, is kind of take control of the game, keep everything in my own hands, and create plays that way.
I guess your kind of goals for, obviously, on the ice, it's always win a championship, but what you're looking for off the ice this year is your personal growth and player growth.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, building the responsibilities of living out here with a new family and helping out around the house and spending time with the Billet siblings and just kind of learning a new way of life.
So now you've been here for a little bit. Who are you gelling with? Who's kind of taking you in, getting you to kind of learn the ropes out here?
Yeah, well, Bauer Morrissey is a good friend of mine. We grew up in the same town, so I've known him for a couple of years now. So having him out here has been a huge help. Helped me get to know a lot of the guys. Reese has been super welcoming. Cam Kungle, a couple of the older guys that are more familiar with the area have been awesome, really taking me in as one of their own.
I'm going to fire some questions at you, just rapid answers. Try not to think too much, just off the top of your head.
All right.
Favorite team?
Washington Capitals.
Favorite player?
Cal McCarr.
Favorite food?
Chicken.
Music?
Country.
All right. Movie?
Top Gun.
Top Gun 1 or 2?
I haven't seen the new one yet, so I'm going to go with the first
me neither.
one.
Okay,
yeah.
good. No spoilers, please. All right. And I guess favorite goalie?
Favorite goalie? I don't think I've thought about that.
This is the whole point of it.
Go Thatcher Demko.
Well, that's a good answer. One Canuck fan here.
Okay.
All right. Well, Jack, we got to move on, but it was good to have you in, and look forward to seeing you on the ice, and I'm sure the fans here at Cranbrook, it's a little bit empty today, but pretty soon it's going to be packed, and they're going to be watching you out there, and we sell out pretty good here, so
yeah.
I don't know if you heard about the fan base here yet.
Oh, I have. I'm excited to see him for myself. But thank you very much for having me.
You bet. Thanks for joining. That's Jack Henry, Cranbrook Bucks. There's turnover every year for a junior hockey team, and it's not just players. A lot of the time it's staff and coaching, and that is the case for the Cranbrook Bucks this season as we have a new assistant coach on the bench. It's Colin Minardi. Colin, thank you for taking the time for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So, first few days at the Can with the Cranbrook Bucks on the ice here for training camp. How have things been going? How are you getting to kind of know the new digs?
It's been really good here. Everyone's been awesome to me. The facility's great. The staff and the management are great and treating me really well. In terms of the players, looks like we've got a great group. The returners are looking great, and the new players have come in good form and should be pushing for a lot of spots.
And just here on the Cranbrook Bucks Insider, a good chance for the fans to get to know you, especially coming in as a new coach. But you're not a stranger to hockey in BC, obviously. A good dose of experience in the KIJHL and in the BCIHL. Just tell us a little bit about your hockey journey and what brought you to Cranbrook.
Hockey journey, that's a long one. Started playing from Summerland originally, started playing in the KI. Played in North Okanagan, played in Summerland, went out to the island in Vancouver, played for Victoria, brief stint in NCAA for school in Michigan, came back to the Kootenays, Selkirk College, then out to Edmonton, and then started kind of my coaching journey. And yeah, it's been a wild journey in terms of like coaching U18, U15, Junior A in Prince George. So yeah, wild journey.
And I guess what made you transition from playing to coaching?
Just really enjoy the game. I don't know if it was something that I thought of while I was playing, but after finishing, I just missed being at the rink, and I really miss that competitive nature that goes alongside being at the rink and being with your group and trying to build a team towards getting like to a championship.
And what brought you here? Obviously a good rapport with Ryan Donald, but just tell us how that came about.
Yeah, honestly, just decided to like put my name in the hat, and Ryan obviously liked what he saw in me and some certain qualities, but just wanted to get back into like some higher level hockey, working with some better players, and again trying to help build a program the Bucks program here is still fairly new or fairly young. So just being involved in a program, trying to build it towards a championship.
And being with a young program, as you mentioned, a program that is starting to establish an identity now, but I guess does that kind of add pressure, helping to kind of forge the early years of this, franchise's, I guess, landmark?
Maybe a little bit of pressure, but I think it's exciting. You get to kind of have your hands kind of over some things that maybe would be set in stone with some other programs. So definitely it's an exciting, if there is pressure, it's an exciting sort of experience and exciting journey to be a part of.
So I like to play, when I close these interviews down, a little bit of word association.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so okay, he knows what I'm talking about already. So obviously I'll fire something at you and then you come back with me with a quick answer.
Oh, okay.
So starting off the hop, Ryan Donald.
Mentor.
Cranbrook Bucks.
That's just a tough one. I don't know. Junior hockey? I don't know.
Cranbrook BC.
The Kootenays.
The Kootenays.
Mountains? I don't know. Yeah.
Going back maybe a little bit more toward your playing days, Grand Forks Border Bruins.
Small town.
And that had to be a challenging time, being on a team that at the time I know was having some difficulties getting into the win column. But does that kind of build your, I guess, fatigue or strength as a player and coach, having been through experiences like that?
that was an interesting time, for sure. Definitely gives you some experiences. I'd like to think that I take positives or negatives and kind of use them in my future experiences in life. So whether the situation was good or bad, so that would be one that maybe I learn a lot of things maybe not to do as a coach. Or
fair enough. All right, there's Colin Minardi. Happy to have him on the Cranbrook Bucks bench. Look forward to getting to know you a little bit more as the season goes along too.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.